Well, I'm joined by two SNP MPs who represent two of the tartar plants affected in Scotland, Marion who represents the plant in Motherwell, and Margaret Ferrier, who represents the plant in Cambers Lang. Margaret, if I can start with you first, what did you make what you heard from the Business Secretary?
Well, I think we can see that the Business Secretary was repeating a lot of what had been said previously. A lot of the MPs in the Chamber have been asking for action to be taken over the last few months, and we really haven't seen any of that action at all. We went to a UK Steel Summit on Friday down in Rotherham, and I think this was because of what had happened recently in Redcar, and our hearts go out to everybody throughout the UK who has been affected by this. Now we have the devastating news this morning of our own constituency, mine at Clydebridge Works in Cambers Lang, and the member for Motherwell and Wishaw here. So we feel that we have been asking for action over the last few months, and it just hasn't come to fruition.
As yet, Marion, we did hear from the Business Secretary. He held out the possibility of maybe some government contracts for big infrastructure projects going to steel plants. Were you reassured by that?
Not entirely, not at all, in fact, because what we're really looking for immediate action on the energy crisis. Now, we could actually speak to the Chancellor and get the rebates in place this month instead of April next year. Tata Steel and all the UK steel companies have been asking for this for months.
What about the response of the Scottish Government? If the UK government decides not to directly intervene, would you like the Scottish government potentially to take over the plants?
Well, I think the Scottish Government have actually, I welcome the action from them. They have come out right away since the announcement to say that they are setting up a Scottish Steel Task Force, which was wonderful because we need to support these workers. It's all about keeping the skill set that they have. If we lose this skill set, we've lost it for good. And that, again, is across the whole of the UK. So I'm delighted that the Scottish Government has stepped in. They will work across all the different agencies, local authorities, and it's being led by our Business Minister, Fergus Ewing.
Marion, you were saying that your plant too has Ravenscraig, I think.
Yes, was Ravenscraig, was in my...
So what would be the impact if the Motherwell plant had to close in the wake of the Ravenscraig closure? What would be the impact on your community?
The impact would be devastating. It's an iconic industry in Lanarkshire. There has been steel making in Lanarkshire for 100 years. Now, it's really important where the plant is being mothballed, which actually helps us to actually get more work and time to talk to businesses who might be prepared to come in and take over the steel plants in Lanarkshire. This is what we want to do, and this is what the Scottish Government has vowed to help with.
Okay, Marion Fellows and Margaret Ferrier, thanks very much for your time. Simon.